Welcome back to the Rubin Report, the show where we're discussing the big ideas. We have got ideas that are so big, they can't fit through the front door. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell on the YouTubes. My guest today is best-selling author and the 46th President of the United States, Marianne Williamson. Thank you, Daniel. Alright, Marianne, I've got some real tough, hard-hitting questions for you today. I've got some real zingers. I'm ready, Dean. Come right at me. Great. So before we begin, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Fantastic. I don't understand the question. Well, just tell me a little about yourself. God. Can you be more specific? Well, just, your background. Oh, I go! Oh, okay, got it, good. Okay, and action. Daniel, I have decided that we will begin with me telling you a little about myself. When I was a little girl, I attended a school by the name of Hogwarts, and that's really what led me on my spiritual journey. Now, in 1983, I began lecturing on a set of books called A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles, it is not a religion, it is not a cult. You pay a nominal fee and sign a blood oath. It has been described by some as a self-studied program of spiritual psychoanalysis. It is a book about forgiveness and love and swinging. Swinging? Yes, I swing. When you say miracles, what do you make of it? Well, let's face it, miracles are real, Dan. Miracles are real. I have 3 or 4 of them injected into my face right now. So I have always been very, dirt under my fingernails in my spiritual work. So what do you make of it if someone told that little girl she'd be running for president? If that's God's will, then that's God's will. Yeah. So what do you make of the election? Why are you running? What do I make of it? Well, quite simply, Dan, I am having a conversation that the other candidates are not having. I am having a conversation about love. And when I talk about love, it is all different types of love that I am referring to. Love of your country, love of your fellow man, anal. I agree. Darling, don't we all? So, what do you make of the Twitter and the identity politics and the Michigas? No, I don't agree with you, Dan, that identity politics is a bad thing, necessarily. I would like to talk to you for a moment about the homosexuals, because this is an issue that is very personal to me. 6 or 7 of my husbands were gay. And we need to protect the BLT community that is under attack under this president. Now, when you say the gays are under attack, can you give me an example? Certainly. I was sitting in my hotel bar this afternoon when a lovely gentleman had approached me. And he came up to me and he said, Marianne, I am a homosexual. I am gay. Gay as a schoolgirl. And I'm scared. I'm afraid. I am frightened to live my truth. And let me tell you, David, this man was an absolute fruit. And so I said to him, I said, Cory Booker, you be a brave, gay little butterfly blowing in the breeze. And then we joined hands, and we visualized angels dancing upon his naked buttocks. Wow, that's truly fascinating. Now if we're shifting to your economic message, what do you make of the economy? Well, I don't make very much of it at all. You see, poverty is an ubiquitous problem. 40% of Americans live with chronic economic anxiety. And Dick, no one can soar. Living with that kind of tension is debilitating. It is emotionally and psychologically debilitating. When we are in that place, we can't create, we can't produce, we can't. Could you be doing this, whatever it is you do, your little show here, which is obviously successful, which is obviously a conduit for the expression of your emotional creativity. Now, could you be doing this if you were shackled, if you were crippled? Regressive. Boy, you gave me a lot there. So what do you make of the people who say, you know, I voted for the Obama, and this, you know, I'd vote for you, but it's more of the same? No, Dawson, I would be a very different president from Barack Obama. For example, when I bomb the Middle East, it will be with drones of potpourri. And I just want your little audience to know here that my full drone potpourri program is laid out in full, both on my website and my 900 number. Fascinating. Well, now, so you said something during the debates that you fundamentally don't believe that most Americans are racist. No, I don't. And that is why, under a Williamson administration, the first Thursday of every month will be the Caucasian Day of Atonement. It will be a day where the whites get on their hands and knees and beg for forgiveness from the blacks. It will be very unifying for the country because I am an agent of change, not an agent of chaos. Americans aren't racist. They are just woefully lacking in character and repugnantly deficient in any semblance of moral fiber. Got it. So what do you make of the president and the Donald Trumps? Well, we need to acknowledge what is happening with this president. This man has, he has reached into our psyches and blown our chakras to smithereens. I mean, you don't need a crystal ball to see where we're going. I have a crystal ball, but I don't need one. Well, you know, I think some people look at it and they say, it's not so bad. Really, Dean? Not so bad? We are in a spiritual, psychic black hole on this planet of abject human suffering. So, really, how we doing, Dan? How we doing? Where else were you going with that? I can't be bothered to remember. Well, when you say where we're headed, I think a lot of people want to know, where is that? Well, this is precisely what happened with Mr. Adolf. Hitler was saying things for years, and nobody took him seriously, but he was saying it! And we are naive to underestimate the danger of that kind of hate speech. So you've just compared the president to Hitler. Now, so you fundamentally believe that Trump has that in him. I'm not here to psychoanalyze the president. But we are living under fascism, he has built concentration camps, and this is the Fourth Reich. Yes. Okay, well, wow, I'm going to say something that I have never said before on this program. I'm not sure that I agree with that. Boy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fly off the handle like that. No, but excuse me, Diego. You are forgetting that we have a president who is a racist. We have had years of slavery. We're talking slavery, Dan. This is abject slavery. This slavery. 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 Right, so when you talk about reparations, how do we figure out how much to hand people? Well, first of all, hand people money. I don't like that word. That hurts my heart. But simply, we are going to have contract negotiations. We are going to draw up a contract between the whites and the blacks, and they can negotiate. But, and again, I'm sorry to be so aggressive. I don't mean to shout like this. But I'm not sure that reparations would be a good thing. Does that make sense? No, not at all. You see, my plan for reparations is totally different than the other candidates. I'm not just giving them $25,000. You know, we can't just throw money at this problem. Because, Dean, you know, when you think back to the slaves, they were on their feet working all the time. So we can't just throw money at them, but also massage their feet. Because otherwise their chakras are in alignment with slavery. Boy, that sounds like a lot of guilt. And again, I apologize for screaming at the top of my lungs like this. I'm out of control today. It's not guilt. We're flushing the guilt down the toilet. Though I am happy to see more pep in your step today, David. And if you will join me for one of my rituals right now, we will join hands. Take my hands, Danny. Come here. Okay, we are going to close our eyes and we are going to visualize angels dancing on top of the slaves. We see the angels and they are putting their hand on the ankles of the slaves. They are being whipped, they are working, and we see the angels putting their hands on their ankles and freeing them from their shackles. And now we take a deep breath in through the diaphragm and out through the sarcophagus. Boy, that's powerful stuff. Yes, it is, and that is precisely why I am running for president, because in Christianity they have confession. The Jews have Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and same with Alcoholics Anonymous, which is something I am very familiar with. I did Quaaludes at Studio 54 with Bishop Desmond Tutu in 1979. He was my sponsor. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because speaking of sponsors, now a word from ours. Are your balls too hairy? Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. Manscaping. Look, it's not easy, and I've done it, and you can't use the same tools on your manhood as you do on your face. Ouch! Which is why you need Manscaped. Manscaped offers its anti-chafing moisturizer that gets rid of any pungent odors downstairs. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off with coupon code Rubin. So don't waste the time wandering the halls. Buy Manscaped and wash your balls. Charming. So when it comes to your view of the world, what do you make of it? I have a worldview that is vast and encompassing. This is something that I wrote about in my 1993 book, Illuminata. You know, David, I have 7 children that I adopted from Malawi. I didn't know you were a mother. Well, I'm not technically, but I'm more a mother of this earth, a mother of the planet. But I have 7 adopted orphans. I got them from the Sally Struthers number, and they send me a drawing once every 6 months. They don't have crayons. It is mostly feces, amongst other. Well, that's besides the point. One of my adopted orphan children is a lovely little girl by the name of Petunia Moonstein, and she sent me a drawing. And the telegram read, Auntie Marianne, please help heal this broken nation of ours. And I said to her, girlfriend, you are so on because President Williamson is on her way. Wow, that's very touching. So, given your orphan children, what do you make of the immigration? Because when I hear the Democrats, my guys, my team, when I hear them talking about, you know, the immigration. It sounds a lot like open borders. No, Dan, what? You said you're a Democrat? You're not a Democrat! What? No! 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 No. I am. But this is very important what we are doing, because you have laid out some very high-minded conservative principles. And I hope that I have laid out some high-minded liberal principles. But I'm a liberal. No. Stop. I am. But this is exactly what is needed, because it is a yin-yang, and it is the yin-yang that our country needs. We need to be each other's friends, we need to be each other's neighbors, because this president is not very neighborly, and as a wise man once said, won't you be? Can't you be? Please, won't you be my neighbor? And that man was Mr. Rogers. Honey, he gave me a jolly good rogering in 1978. Boy, that's beautiful. It is indeed. We are in a relationship with one another on this planet. And I always say, a relationship is a journey between people and peoples. Marianne Williamson, you are a delight. Daniel, you are the yin to my yang. What a treat. Join us next time on the Rubin Report. I'll be speaking with the Sultan of Brunei to ask him what he makes of the regressive left.